So, yeah, I hear you, and it's like it's so it's so different to speak to from where I am right now. But if I'll take steps back and seeing where I was, meaning not even before KI, before even waking up and in this seeking mode, really just trying to find myself, not knowing where I am, really. Um, and I guess the interesting part is like looking back in retrospect and seeing how this not knowing and being and wherever I was exactly the right place for me to be. And then the next place, and then the next place, and then the next, whether it's a state or a question I was living with or a practice I was doing. So, and it's like this need to know, this thirst to know who are we, what are we in this, on this, in this existence. It's quite powerful. It's really, really powerful because somehow we were deprived of being ourselves from the beginning, somehow in our unfortunate society and the development of consciousness and the where we are as human beings is uh, is deprived us from the beginning, staying with that knowing. And it's super simple, actually. And to a lot of us, it was really known. And it was just the spontaneity of being oneself and a relaxed state of being oneself, right? So we can equate it right now when the ego, the body and mind started to react to trying to survive in whatever way. We, oh, so trying to survive in whatever way, it's just started to adapt these ways of suppressing oneself and being something for others constantly, trying to be something for others constantly. And then this trying to be something for others, we kind of forgot how to just be ourselves without the need to know who we are, what's our purpose. And it was just so natural and spontaneous that it almost, yeah, it almost escapes us that we already know. And it's not something concrete. It's also something that is kind of fluctuating, it's growing, it's changing, wisdom comes, experiences accumulate, skills accumulate, and create a completely different you, in a sense. But I think if anything, it's just with this intense, deep, deep, deep relaxation into, yes, getting curious as you are, Mark, right now. You're saying you're taking this course or that course. It's, yes, being curious, but not attaching ourselves into not recreating, oh, maybe this gonna show me better who I am or who I should be. So it's like, it's almost like what the ego does, it's just try to redream itself into new and new realities over and over and over and over again. But what reality does, it already does that in all of us. It's not like reality is here and it's not there, it's there everywhere. What it does, it lives itself out. It lives itself out in this kind of instantaneous spark of the next obvious thing, in the next obvious thing, in the next obvious thing, without an identity. And that doesn't take away that I'm not going to be a mom in a moment where I have my kids around. Or that doesn't take away that I'm not going to play a role of some sort of a trainer, maybe someone one step ahead in KI when I train others. It doesn't take away into, just being a daughter when my mom is around. So it's like all of that is here, but none of this is like, it's me. And if none of this is me, then I don't need to discover who is me. It's just simple. And then if I don't need to discover who is me, then I can relax. And relaxation is who we are. Tension is who we're trying to be. So it's this and this relaxation coming back into what does it really feel like for me? What is in the way of this relaxation right now and right now and right now? And that's why we have this wonderful tool as KI. That doesn't mean, I'm just gonna do processing and I'm not gonna be, all of a sudden, I'm gonna put all my eggs in this basket and I'm gonna stop living my life. No, actually living your life is gonna be the huge mirror, the huge, beautiful kind of reply of what are you actually really? Because if I don't have all of you here, I don't know that I am this. We need to engage with life to know who we are, in a sense, not because I want to, because life is constantly giving me that feedback, right? And what that means, it might be just a compliment. Hey, you're drawing so well. Hey, thank you so much for listening so deeply. Whatever it is, it's just all of these ways of how life reflects back to us, reflects back of who we are already. So if we start paying attention that some things are so easy for us, effortless and playful, then perhaps you can do more of that and much more of that and much more of that, much more of that without the need. And the need to know who we are can be examined. We can bring it, and it can be just as well an arising agitation of not knowing inside me, the space of me, the existence of me. And I could just watch this agitation, this need to know, I have to know, I have to know. Well, because my mom told me I have to be someone. And they told me that I'm nobody if I don't achieve something. So it's this just an energy that is actually taking us completely away of already knowing who we are. And that doesn't mean, who I was in my 6-year-old and 7-year-old. I loved to do whatever I used to. I had one doll growing up in USSR. And my grandma was a not a seamstress, but she loved doing stuff with fabrics and stuff. So I loved doing like clothes for my doll, and I had bags and bags of clothes. I loved construction sets and things like that. So I have some hints of what things I like design, right? Designing clothes. Not necessarily, I didn't go into design clothes, but I started graphic design, web design. But construction, and still I have all my power tools in my garage and I do like crazy DIY projects. So it's like still the hobbies are still there, but I had no clue that I would do what I'm doing right now as something like a passion of being myself. It's just like it's this moment to moment surrendering to life, or learning from life, learning who we are from the reflection of life, reflecting back to us, back to us, back to us, like you guys being here. I wouldn't be doing this if you wouldn't be here. So I need you, and you need the world to know who you are in reflection, right? So our community, IKI community, beautiful. These places, that's where we can reflect upon each other, support each other, is wonderful. So yeah, and the tools to welcome the agitation of wanting to know, wanting to know. It's it's definitely, you know, it's like a two-sided coin. You know, from one side we can see it's like the ego is pushing something, and I could see it within myself. And it's interestingly enough, it was actually pushing me exactly where I felt I will be, but it was doing that through so much effort, and guilt tripping myself that I didn't show up, or I didn't speak properly, or I didn't say a very intelligent thought when I communicated with people. So it's just the mechanism of life actually moving there effortlessly. And on top of that, the body mind comes and tries to effort it into reality. It's just going in the same direction, but two different things, completely two different ways of inner relaxation or tension. Oh, hi, Paige. Yeah. So yeah, it's a process. It's a process. And to tell you the truth, 3 years ago, before KI, now I look at some things like, wow, there were so many blind spots. And now look at it like from this point of view, it's like, well, okay, I grew a lot, I deepened a lot. And it's always gonna, on human level, we're always gonna continue deepening. Yeah, especially in our relationships and relating to others, being able to be responsible for some things. Yeah, so there is a growth. And I really love Marco, thanks. I really love how Ken Wilber addresses the 3 dimensions, right, of waking up, clearing up, and growing up. And I think there's definitely a holistic view how he presents it. And as from his research, and him and his team did extensive research on seeing how this kind of evolution of consciousness is only possible in the last 100 years or so. Before, waking up was prevalent, but growing up or clearing up was not necessarily an option yet. Yeah. So, okay, let's meditate. Sorry, I would love to open to questions and sharing, but I'm on a time schedule today. Need to make it to the airport. Okay, so yes, it's about 20 minutes, whoever is new here. And if you need to log out before and leave, thank you so much for coming. And it's 20 minutes of guided meditation and about 5 minutes of just stillness. What is it? So I'll invite you to get comfortable wherever you are. If you have something to recline on, you can easily just let your body relax into the support, into the chair. So as long as we're just still staying, not necessarily staying upright, you can also lie down, but as long as your spine is somewhat straight, it's kind of beneficial or helpful for energies to move. Esoterically, what happens when we meditate and we relax and enter what is more scientifically known as an alpha state, a brain state, or theta state. What happens, we actually enter the energetic channel, the main channel in our spine. And it's a big channel called in Sanskrit Shushumna, because usually we hang out on the dual channels, which is the left or the right hemisphere of the brain or the left hemisphere of the brain. So when we hang out in the duality, the brain is more active and the mind is more agitated, especially with our solar energy activated. It's nothing for you to learn, but it's just why we keep our spine erect, because it helps consciousness to enter that channel, because that channel connects with the universal source, transcendence, the absolute. And all it takes is really to fully relax, actually. Fully and deeply relax. There's ways of switching our brain state into our alpha and theta state through hypnosis that takes you deeper and deeper into relaxation. Meditation is kind of a mimicking of that, but our conscious way of entering that, as if we're relaxing to fall asleep, but at the same time staying absolutely alert and present. So allowing the body to be immobile and fully relaxed is cueing our mind to relax as well. So if you can find a position where your body can be absolutely still, feeling like as heavy as a rock, unmoved. So this is an invitation for everything to pause. And the more you develop your ability to be still, meaning just to stop, the shorter and shorter you're shifting into an alpha state or a theta state will be almost immediate. But for now, the mind might be agitated if you're new to this, and it's totally okay. So it's absolutely okay to feel that you lose yourself in thought over and over. And if you find yourself lost in stories, in thinking of the next thing to do or the problems to solve, or worrying about this or that, just becoming aware of that brings you out of thinking and back into present moment, here and now. You can choose your breath to be your anchor into the presence. Breath is always present. It can never be in the future because it doesn't exist. It can never be in the past. So just watching the breath, hearing the breath, noticing the breath, and bring you into the present moment, therefore, attentive, here, alert. Just watching your body becoming heavier and heavier to a point where you can't even move your arm. It's just so heavy, so relaxed, deeper and deeper. And the more you relax, the more I would invite to relax mentally as well. That doesn't mean to stop thinking. All it means is to withdraw efforting into this pure light of not knowing. Effort equals trying to know. Trying to control. Thinking we know what should happen. Withdrawing all effort is surrendering into not knowing. What should happen? When would we arrive? So the paradox is thinking we know is actually darkness, is absolute limitation to the infinite. Surrendering into not knowing is entering the light, the all possibilities, the spaciousness, the isness, the just being. Pure potential. Pure receptivity. To any information to flow through, to any revelations to spark. And you might find agitation or energy of trying to know, but just be the space for it to come and go. So in this light of not knowing, is there anything of you at all apart from this light? So just again, a reminder, the deeper we relax the body, the more the mind will follow. The deeper you relax, the less boundaries are felt, to a point of perhaps even body awareness just becomes a momentarily sensations that happen. And withdrawing into not knowing is not a dead experience. It's very alive because the curiosity to what happens is the energy of not knowing. Therefore, even existence is a mystery to itself. Otherwise, none of this living would have been interesting. So again, just coming back to simple KI natural rest. If you're not a thought, if you're not a sensation, you're not an emotion, energy, if you're not a picture, what are you? What is it that is so intensely present here? Where and prior to anything rising and falling, the sound of my voice is coming and it's going. But you don't include the mind, the space in which the sound arising and the space in which the sound disappearing into. It's not a physical space. And it's not here and there. In your just direct experience right now. There's no two spaces and sound traveling. Or no sound appearing. So again, the invitation is dropping all need to control, to arrive, to be somewhere, to be deeply relaxed, or to be acutely awake, or to be deeply in meditation. As soon as you catch that, it's like, hey, I see you, effort. You're welcome to be here, but I'm not falling for you. I'm just gonna watch and see what happens without efforting, without the need to know, even though the need to know might be here, just as an energy. But I'm not gonna fall for that either. I'm just gonna be the light of not knowing. So we're gonna remain in silence. A bell will ring for about 5 minutes or so. Just pay attention on your breath if you feel lost in thought. And come back to your body. Come back to the senses. They're always in the present moment. So before even opening your eyes, we're slowly going to come back to perhaps even the breath, noticing the breath, noticing the physical body, how it feels. Before opening your eyes, you can move if you need to move or stretch or just change the position that perhaps became uncomfortable. If you have a sleeping leg or something like that, take care of that. But I want you, before you open your eyes, I just want to kind of plant a seed that is available to all of us. And what got me through the difficult moments, or what got me through and what made my seeking alive and brought me to where I had to be, is the actual ability to communicate and retreat into this space I'm inviting you every Tuesday. And there was the lineage I was initiated in Himalayan yoga tradition of Swami Rama. Swami Rama, in his book, he was writing about his master. And he was saying that his master used to repeat the mantra. I come from a lineage of a mantra, tantric lineage. And he used to repeat, it's a seed mantra. He used to repeat that mantra. And every time a person would visit him in his cave, he would be deeply disturbed. And then he would say, the person that would come visit would say, "Oh, you're so alone here." And he would say, "Well, now I am, since you distracted me from the communion with the depths." Not exactly the same words, but something along these ways of he became actually much more alone communicating, as opposed to being in meditation and connected with the source. So this is just an invitation. This is a retreat, a space to come back to, a space to ask our deepest of questions, and we're not necessarily going to receive an answer as words, but usually, if we're really persistent with our question, the answer comes forth. Life comes forth as an answer. So this is just an invitation that you always have this at your disposal, this space. And if you're not familiar, and if it's very agitating for you to sit still, just try to somehow get curious of how to incorporate moments of presence into my life in whatever way. Eyes closed, eyes open, driving, walking, swimming, whatever it is, sitting, doing nothing, doing what we love, whatever it is. So this is a place to come back home, to recharge, to restore. So if you feel ready, you can stretch or move. If that feels something that's your body's needing. And whenever you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Yeah, and that's the invitation, not until I started to really connect. And we can read it in Rumi's poetry. And I'm not saying everyone has to be romantic or devotional to experience that. But if we have that intention and inclination, I would urge you to explore that, because you're gonna feel when actually my life is so busy, so I'm rarely alone. But when I'm alone, I'm like, oh, I'm in instant communication with everything, whether it looks like nature, whether it looks like just a moment of silence, whatever it looks like. For me, it always looks like nature. So it's for me, like I look around, okay, I'm just going to connect with my plants. I'm going to connect with the trees. I'm going to connect just the infinitude of the sky, whatever it is, right? But there's this, wow, there's this play. And of course, there's just one thing, but yet it created this beautiful play that yet we are singular, and yet we can play that devotional kind of connected Leela game of the lover and the beloved. Explore. It's a highway to heaven, really, if you can put a little bit of that spice into your life. However it is, if it's just if it's more like, if you're more, how would I say, not as a devotional kind, you can also have it as a communication, as an open channel to communication, to download, and you'll tap more and more into your intuition. However it looks for you, lighting an incense, asking a question, lighting a candle, whatever the sentimental part to the mind to disconnect from this reality and enter some sort of like a spirit realm, whatever it takes. Is it a mala? Is it a candle? Is it an incense? Is it a corner, specific corner, whatever it is, wherever, is it just a nature, wherever you can disconnect and reconnect? Yeah, explore. It's really, 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 really powerful. Then it becomes alive. Then seeking, it's not just a mind thing. It's actual, wow, you're leading me by the hand. And the next little aha, next little revelation, thank you. I'm seeing, I'm seeing the grace coming in as a response to my effort. I'll leave you with that. I gotta run. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, it's so lovely to be with you, Yvonne. I'm super with you. Reach out as well. Can chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Love you all. Bye. See you next time.